Welcome back to the channel where we give horror a voice. Today's story is called I Think My Janitor Hunts My High School. This story takes place in Penelope High School, a 3-story tall building that is rumored to be haunted even to this day. Well, in today's story we're going to focus on Janitor Hanks. A janitor that unfortunately met a tragic end right on these high school grounds. To get into his backstory, Janitor Hanks was like any other janitor, proficient at doing his job, but often bothered by the little rascals that called themselves students. Janitor Hank would often get rowdy with the kids because they'd go in his utility closets, which he had several of them, and they'll move his tools and mop buckets to weird places like cafeteria, classrooms, or bathroom stall. They love to get a rise out of Janitor Hank. Janitor Hank will often get upset when you see him doing it and chase behind him or run behind him. You can hear his keys jingling while he's running. Well, we'll also focus on a student named Samantha. And later on in the story, you'll see how both of their tragic fates intertwined. Well, Samantha was a very unpopular kid and often bullied on by all of her peers. On this fateful day, Samantha was being bullied by 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl. They was chasing behind her and throwing things at her. Well, she ran through the emergency exit that led up the stairs, and they chased her all the way up floor after floor till she went out the emergency hatch that led to the roof. They were still throwing things at her as she bagged up trying to dodge what was being thrown at her. Eventually, she tripped and fell off the ledge. As she fell 3 stories down, she died on impact when she hit the ground. Now the 4 kids were scared. They knew what they'd done, but they didn't want to take responsibility. They didn't want to ruin their lives because they was being ignorant. Well, they devised a plan. They planned to blame Janitor Hanks. Of course, they thought who wouldn't believe it, Janitor Hanks was notorious for chasing children. Well, the police couldn't find no evidence of it happening, but since many kids reported to their parents that they'd been chased by Janitor Hanks, the parents was convinced. Within 2 days, the parents held a rally. Janitor Hanks was trying to leave to go home because at the end of his shift when the rally turned violent, bloody, tragic. As Janitor was making his way through the crowd of angry parents that was spewing insults and slurs at him, one parent decided to attack him. And when Janitor Hanks fell, several other parents joined in till a whole mob was stomping Janitor Hanks. And needless to say, well, poor Janitor Hanks didn't survive the ordeal. He ended up succumbing to his injuries right there in the parking lot. Since that day, weird happenings started occurring at the school. Students would say when they're on the hallway by themselves, suddenly the hallway will get cold. They'll hear faint whispers. They can also hear little small footsteps running. Sometimes they'll look at the fire exit door because they'll hear them in the opening shut despite the door actually moving at all. And it was also said if you on that hallway by yourself, if you listen closely, you can hear some keys going off in the distance. Well, it actually got so worse to the point where some students even reported seeing apparitions of Mr. Hank himself walking the hallway with a mop bucket. And once they look up and make eye contact with each other, Mr. Hanks would disappear. Now, obviously, there wasn't no evidence to these happenings or claims, so school went about its business. That's when the 4 kids that were responsible for Samantha's death decided to meet up at the school and play a little game of truth or dare. Well, as the game went on, one person dared that they all into the school after hours and explore. Being little bad kids they all agreed and went through the back door that usually would be kept locked, but since Jonathan Hanks was gone, well, nobody securing it and checking it daily like they used to. That's where this story takes an unfortunate turn. No one knows what happened when students went in there. All they know is the next day, as school continued, everybody came to school to a horrifying discovery. In 4 different lockers, the 4 kids were stuffed in it, mutilated, and dead. Cameras didn't catch how it happened, and no one knows how it happened. Someone said a murderer did it and drugged their bodies in school. And some people said Mr. Hanks got his revenge. Well, I'll let you be determined and decide what the cause of it was, but to this day, they say if you walk past that school at night and you look in the window, you can see an apparition of 4 kids running in terror and a tall middle-aged man running behind them. And if you listen closely, you can hear his keys jingle. If you enjoyed the story, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.